Have you ever wondered why some people receive without even seeking, do not seem to struggle too much, yet everything flows smoothly and turns out well? Why do they seem as if someone is quietly supporting them? Disasters pass, misfortunes are avoided, money arrives unexpectedly, and benefactors keep appearing. Is that mere luck? In truth, it may be the fruition of merit after karmic obstructions have been dissolved. Some people toil for a lifetime, wearing themselves out, going to temples, reciting the Buddha's name, giving alms, yet they still do not see their lives change. But others do not appear to strive so hard, and their lives remain gentle, as if carried along by a calm current. This makes many people suspicious. Has fate been arranged in advance? Are some people simply born luckier than others? But if you have truly listened to the Buddha's teachings, you will understand that nothing is accidental, nothing arrives without a cause. Every ease, every beautiful opportunity in life is the sweet fruit of wholesome seeds that were planted through countless past lives. When unwholesome karma fades, blessings bear fruit. And that moment is when we enter an entirely new phase, living in the light of merit. But how can we know we have repaid our karma? Are there signs that let us know? Is this the time to rest in blessings and continue cultivating wholesome karma to preserve that light? Today's video will be a guide, a mirror that helps you recognize where you are on the path of cause and effect. If you recognize these signs in your daily life, congratulations. Not only are you living a lighter life, you are also walking the path of awakening, where the light of the Buddhas quietly supports you. Let us listen to the first sign, a purified mind. When you no longer need to force yourself to let go, letting go happens on its own. There is a strange peace that no one can give you, except you yourself. And what is even more precious is that it does not arise through strain, but through a silent transformation from within. Have you noticed that the things that once made you anxious, worried, or angry now suddenly feel so small? The slander, the judging looks, or the pains of the past that once kept you awake for nights on end, now all feel like a breeze passing over a lake, leaving no ripples behind. This is not indifference. It is a clear sign of someone who has moved beyond the stage of repaying heavy karma, when the mind is no longer shaken by delusions and begins to abide in awareness. The Buddha taught that when the mind is at peace, the world is at peace. When your inner life becomes steady like a still lake, then no matter how fiercely storms rage outside, you remain firm like a mountain. A person still weighed down by karma can erupt in anger from a single unpleasant word. One unpleasant event can trouble them all day. But those whose minds have become purified can smile even when they hear what they do not want to hear. Even when they face loss, they pass through it calmly. They do not need to struggle to forgive, because there is nothing left inside to hate. They do not need to struggle to let go, because there is nothing left to cling to. They do not crave recognition, because they have understood that true value does not lie in the eyes of the world, but in inner spaciousness and ease. There was a man who lived for many years in anger and unrest. His work did not go well, his family was fractured, and money was always lacking. After he formed the aspiration to recite the Buddha's name each night before sleep, he did not ask for anything except peace. A few months later, he realized his heart felt lighter, his sleep grew deeper, and strangely, he no longer felt angry at anyone, no longer blamed anyone as before. His mind was no longer bound by right and wrong, winning and losing. From then on, he felt his life become lighter and happier, and everything also seemed to become smoother. That is the first sign that the universe, or more accurately, the law of cause and effect, sends you. When you no longer resist life, life begins to open gentle paths before you. If you are feeling this state, congratulations. Your karmic heat has cooled, blessings have begun to arise, and you are entering the stage of living by the light within. The second sign is meeting many benefactors. When people arrive, it is not by chance, but by karmic affinity. Have you ever been astonished that when you were in the most difficult and helpless situation, someone suddenly appeared and reached out to help you? Just when you needed it, an old friend unexpectedly called to introduce a job opportunity, a teacher appeared and offered you wise advice, or a stranger willingly supported you without expecting anything in return. In the Buddha's teachings, there is no such thing as an accidental encounter. Every encounter is the result of causes and conditions, invisible threads woven through countless past lives. And the benefactors who come to you today are a clear sign that karmic obstructions have been resolved and blessings are beginning to bear fruit. When karma is still heavy, we often attract people carrying negative energy, those who exploit, deceive, and betray. But when the mind transforms, when karma has been diminished, the world also shifts with it. We are no longer pulled into gossip and conflict. We no longer remain trapped in toxic relationships. Instead, people with wholesome hearts, people who carry the light of goodness, begin to appear. They do not come to take anything from you. They come to support you and walk alongside you. They help you move in the right direction, open opportunities, and lift you through trials. There was a woman who once passed through a period of crisis. Her career was blocked, her finances were drained, and her relationships were breaking apart in despair. She turned to the Buddha's path, not seeking anything lofty, only asking for a little peace. From that day on, she diligently recited the name of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Gradually, her life changed. A new supervisor supported her. A new friend helped her begin again from the start. What was remarkable was that everyone who appeared afterward was kind and willing to help, as if the universe itself were guiding her. The Buddha taught that when one plants wholesome deeds, in time one will harvest wholesome results. And those results are not only material wealth, but also connections filled with light. If lately you find yourself surrounded by good-hearted people, warm relationships, and open arms when you need them, cherish this deeply, because it is the response of cause and effect. It is a sign that blessings are flowing toward you through the form of good people. And remember, those who come do not only help us overcome hardship, they also serve as a mirror, reminding us to keep planting light in this life. The third sign is improved health, joyful spirit, and lightness of body and mind. Have you ever experienced this? You wake up after a restful night, and the heaviness in your chest is gone. Your body feels lighter, your breathing becomes deeper. You no longer feel exhausted even though you have not changed your diet or your rest. Your mind feels calm and clear, as if an invisible burden has been released. If you are sensing this, understand that it is not random that your body and mind have become peaceful. It is a sign that inner strength is returning, and in the view of the Dharma, it is a manifestation of karmic force being dissolved. Blessings are beginning to reveal themselves. In the sutras, the Buddha taught that the body is a boat carrying the mind across the ocean of samsara. When the mind is at ease, the body becomes well. When afflictions settle, the vital energies harmonize. When karma is heavy, body and mind are like a boat with a hole in its hull. No matter how much you rest, how much you exercise, how strictly you eat, you still cannot regain vitality and health. Because the root of illness is not only in the flesh, but also in the heart being crushed by worry, resentment, and fear. There was a man who suffered from insomnia for many years. He took Western medicine without relief, and even herbal remedies were useless. By chance, he heard an elderly monk advise him, each night, recite the name of Amitabha Buddha. Before you sleep, do not wish to be cured, only wish for the mind to be at peace. At first he did not believe it, but he still tried. After 1 month, sleep came more gently. After 3 months, he no longer needed medicine. After 1 year, he was healthy and clear-minded, his illness fading away, and his heart no longer carried the same fear as before. He did not change his lifestyle. He changed his inner world. When the mind is purified, the karma of illness is also cleansed. Negative energies that had accumulated in the body, anger, irritation, anxiety, gradually dissolved. The life force began to flow, the body renewed itself, the immune system recovered on its own. No miracle is required. When merit is sufficient, the body heals naturally, and the mind settles by itself. If lately you have fewer minor illnesses, sleep better, no longer feel drained while working, no longer suffer unexplained headaches, if you feel uplifted, filled with positive energy, and able to enjoy each day without knowing why, then congratulations. You are entering a state where body and mind resonate together, where blessings begin to soak into every breath and every cell. This is an invaluable gift the universe offers to one who has finished repaying karmic debts, so that they may continue living, planting goodness, and walking the path of practice. The fourth sign is unexpected good fortune, when wholesome results ripen in their proper season. Sometimes life suddenly becomes strangely easy. Work goes more smoothly than you expected. Good opportunities appear precisely when you need them. Money arrives unexpectedly. A new door opens. When you thought every path was closed, you may ask, why is everything flowing now? Is it because I am lucky, or because the universe is responding? The Buddha taught that everything that comes to us is the result of seeds we planted in the past. No fruit exists without a cause. No flower blooms on its own. Without roots, nothing can stand. The good fortune you receive today is not magic. It is the sweet fruit of wholesome seeds you planted across many lives, or in this very life through each act of kindness, each moment of generosity, each compassionate intention you cultivated. Yet unlike achievements that are easily measured, blessings often arrive in unexpected forms, at the very moment you are not grasping, not calculating. That lack of demand allows blessings to unfold naturally, like spring rain soaking into the earth without eroding the roots. Try to remember, was there a time when you were at the edge of poverty, and suddenly someone lent you money and did not even ask for it back? Was there a time when you lost your job, and a few days later an even better invitation appeared? Sometimes you may be lost in life, and a single sentence, a single Dharma talk, suddenly wakes you up. None of this is accidental. It is merit beginning to blossom. When karmic obstructions have been cleared away, the road becomes open, and good things arrive like an underground spring breaking through after a long time of being trapped. There was a man who struggled for many years. Although he worked diligently, he could barely make ends meet. One day he made the heartfelt vow to give, not because he hoped to become rich, but simply because he wanted to help someone poorer than himself. Not long after, he received an invitation from an old friend, a job opportunity that matched his skills, with good income. From then on, everything began to move smoothly, step by step, steady and secure. When blessings begin to manifest, the universe rearranges wholesome conditions so that we can receive the results. No need to compete, no need to fight or snatch. You only need enough humility, enough kindness, and a heart open enough to welcome what is good. If lately you keep meeting good luck at the right time, in the right place, with the right people, understand that you are in a season of harvest, when wholesome fruits ripen from the fields of merit you once quietly cultivated. This is encouragement from the law of cause and effect. Keep living with goodness, because once merit has begun to flow, it can open doors of wonder you never imagined. The fifth sign is financial improvement, when money becomes a tool and is no longer a burden. There is a deep sense of security that does not come from praise or outward success, but from the feeling that as each day passes, you no longer worry about basic needs, you no longer fear scarcity, and you are no longer led by money, but know how to use it as a wholesome means. This is when you realize your finances are improving in a stable way. And that is not random. It is a clear sign that you are receiving blessings after karmic burdens have been reduced. In Buddhism, money itself is not evil. Whether it becomes harmful depends on the mind that uses it. Merit does not lie in how much money you have, but in how you obtain it and what you use it for. A person with merit receives money naturally, like a spring that is not loud, yet steady. They do not need to exhaust themselves in endless struggle, and still they have enough. On the other hand, a person still weighed down by karma may work hard, yet money keeps slipping away. When illness ends, misfortune arrives. When debts are paid, accidents appear. There was a woman who lived in constant hardship, working 2 or 3 jobs, yet still never having enough. One day she paused and began to focus on practice, reciting the Buddha's name and making a vow to give. Even if it was only a few thousand, she did not expect her life to change overnight. She only wished to live more lightly. Then, little by little, her life shifted. Her expenses became more stable, her income improved, and the sudden shocks that used to wipe her out no longer happened as before. She shared a simple sentence. Before, I tried to hold on to money. Now I am learning to protect my merit. To protect merit is to know how to use money at the right time, in the right way, with the right mind, not wasting it, not clinging greedily, not using it to compare yourself with others, but using it to share. If lately you feel you can earn money more easily, keep it more steadily, and most importantly, you no longer fear loss. That is a sign that prosperity is coming from the source of merit, no longer bound by old karma. And if money comes into your hands peacefully, always remember it is a means for you to keep planting new wholesome causes. Money is not only material. It is a current of energy. When used with compassion, it becomes an extended hand of blessings. Keep doing good, keep sharing, and you will see that finances not only improve, but also become a light that illuminates the path of practice in everyday life. The sixth sign is that relationships become harmonious. When conditions transform, the mind is also liberated. There is a quiet yet unmistakable shift on the journey of repaying karma. It is when the people who once caused you pain and distress gradually disappear from your life. In their place, sincere, kind, and wholesome people begin to appear. There are no longer tense relationships filled with arguments and misunderstandings. There are no longer people who force you to endure by tightening yourself inside. Instead, there is a gentle presence, peaceful and full of empathy. They may not speak much, but their presence makes your heart feel safe. According to the Buddha's teaching on causes and conditions, everyone who enters our life carries a debt, a lesson, or a response from the past. When our karma is heavy, we easily become entangled in harmful relationships. The people who come often carry negative energy, exploitation, jealousy, and deception because we still carry within us a frequency of resentment, blame, and anger that has not yet been transformed. But when the mind shifts, when we learn to practice, to endure, to cultivate compassion, those unwholesome connections fade away like fog dissolving under sunlight. The people who come afterward are wholesome conditions, companions on the path, supporters, and those who bring clarity. There was a person who lived in a storm of conflict with family, tension with a mother-in-law, discord between daughter-in-law and in-laws, siblings full of jealousy, friends who constantly misunderstood. They decided to stop arguing and began to practice, reciting the Buddha's name and calming the mind each night. After only a few months, something strange happened. The mother-in-law gradually softened. The children became more obedient. The husband grew more understanding. No one told anyone to change, yet everything became easier, because when your mind changes, people change too. When the energy within you becomes bright, the people who come into your life also carry brightness. If you notice your relationships becoming lighter, if the people you meet are increasingly kind, understanding, not demanding, not controlling, then this is a sign that blessings are manifesting through your affinities. And remember, harmony on the outside is the result of letting go on the inside. When you stop insisting that others must change and choose instead to transform yourself, the relationships around you begin to be cleansed by compassion and wisdom. Cause and effect does not only appear through money, health, or success. It also appears in the way another person looks at you, speaks to you, and chooses to remain beside you. The seventh sign is spiritual awakening, when the Buddha's light quietly illuminates within. There is a transformation so deep that no one can see it, but you can feel it very clearly. It is not outward luck, and it is not specific achievements. It is a silent light beginning to spread in the mind, like a small lamp being lit in the darkness of delusion. It is when you suddenly realize that life is not only about food and clothing, fame and profit, right and wrong, winning and losing, but a journey of returning to your true nature, returning to the stillness and purity that already exists within every person. You no longer see yourself as a victim of life. You no longer resent destiny or demand fairness. You begin to understand deeply that everything that happened was karma, and everyone who came was an affinity. And you feel gratitude for both the beautiful moments and the suffering, because they have brought you closer to the light of awakening. The Buddha taught that when the mind is illuminated by wisdom, even the heaviest karmic forces can be dissolved. One who sees the path clearly has already begun to step out of samsara. The highest sign of someone who has repaid their karma and entered the stage of receiving blessings is not money and not status, but the state of wakefulness, when the heart turns toward the Dharma and returns to Buddha nature. There was a man who once lived in confusion, intoxicated by power, possessions, and competition. After a major upheaval, he decided to read the Buddhist scriptures. Each page felt like cool water poured onto an overheated mind. Gradually, he wanted less, became less angry, argued less, and no longer wished for others to change. He simply wanted to live better himself. He called it a quiet awakening, as if the light of Amitabha Buddha were shining from within. If lately you feel your heart naturally leaning toward goodness, if you feel drawn to read sutras, listen to Dharma talks, or recite the Buddha's name without anyone forcing you, if you begin to sense impermanence and karma more deeply and want to live with greater meaning, then cherish this. You are entering a stage of awakening. This is not an ending, but a great beginning of a genuine spiritual journey. The greatest blessing is not being given something, but being able to see the path clearly. And once you see clearly, you will no longer be lost in this constantly changing world. You have just passed through a special journey, not outwardly, but inwardly, through each sign, from a purified mind, to benefactors appearing, to improved health, to financial stability, and finally, to deep awakening. Do you see one thing? Every outer change begins with a quiet transformation within. When karma has been reduced, and the light of blessings begins to sprout, you may not have named it. You may never have worn monastic robes, taken precepts, or even gone to a temple. But if your mind has begun to soften before the waves of life, if your heart feels grateful for small things, if you no longer chase after struggle and rivalry, and instead feel fullness in each breath, then congratulations. You are living in the state of one who has merit. And what is even more wonderful is that blessings are not a reward, but an invitation to keep walking, to transform more deeply, to live more wakefully, and to share that light with others. The Buddha never granted favors to anyone, yet his light still shines. Whoever has enough sincerity, whoever has enough causes and conditions to hear these words and recognize themselves in these signs, this is not accidental. It is an awakening from cause and effect, a precious opportunity to go further on the path of liberation. And the most important thing right now is not to rest comfortably and simply enjoy what has arrived, but to learn how to protect it and continue nurturing that merit, like a lamp that must be refilled with oil if it is not to go out. If today you have quieted your heart enough to listen to this Dharma teaching until the end, if you have reflected, if you have smiled in silence, if you have shed tears because you saw yourself in the words of the sutras, then please cherish that awakening as a treasure beyond compare. For a person with blessings is not someone who has everything, but someone who knows when to pause, return inward, and come back to themselves. And you have done that. If these words have touched your heart, if you recognized yourself in them, even in a small way, that alone is an immeasurably precious affinity. Not everyone has the chance to hear the Dharma amid the noise of worldly life. Not everyone has the conditions to stop, to listen, and to notice that their heart is changing. And if you feel that today's teaching has value, please join in creating a little wholesome connection by leaving one line, Namo Amitabha Buddha, in the comments. It is only a line of text, but it is a wholesome thought, a gentle vow, and a dedication of merit to all beings. You can also share this video with your family and friends, with anyone who is weary, confused, or in need of a lamp to light the darkness. Perhaps you may be the bridge that helps them find faith again and rediscover peace within the heart.